Hi, I'm Ray Williams, and today I want to share with you about Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump the candidate who will make America great again? Or is he the candidate who is a predator and is selfish? This is the question that so many Americans have, and this is the question that we are going to bring facts about. Now, Donald Trump is trying to make America great again. I strongly believe that every American cannot argue with any candidate who wants to make America great again. The only issue is how to make America great again. See, you can't just walk into the White House and do whatever you want and say you're making America great. You can't do that. You can't just slap America's being great, made greater. You can't do that. You can't slap that on everything that you do. What you have to do is explain to the people how what you're trying to accomplish will make America greater. That's what you have to do. He has somewhat of a set plan on what he wants to do. And here's what he's trying to achieve. Now, first, he has a pretty decent foreign policy plan. He believes that we need to abolish ISIS. Now, Hillary Clinton agrees with the same thing. She doesn't say that we need to stabilize it. She says that we need to take out the ISIS problem and then stabilize the Middle East. And Donald Trump says the same thing. So they agree pretty much on that. But here's where the difference is. Now, Donald Trump believes that we must bar or ban all Muslims from coming into the U.S. That's what he's asking to do. He's saying that there are no Muslim extremists. He's saying that there are just Muslim terrorists. That's the fact that he believes. Now, many people believe differently on this situation. Some people believe that being able to bar the American Muslims or even foreign Muslims from this country would do this country a great justice with the terrorist issue. While on the other side, other Americans, more liberal Americans usually, believe that to bar Muslims in general from coming into the U.S. would be unjust and un-American and just flat out wrong. That's what they believe. It would be for you to make the last call on this, but these are just the facts on where people stand on this issue and where Donald Trump stands with the ISIS issue and handling terrorism. Now, where Donald Trump stands with Mexico and the foreign policy with Mexico is he believes in sending back all illegal immigrants back to Mexico. And not only that, but building a wall. He says that building a wall would prevent many of the Mexicans from coming here. And that might solve that issue. But here's the problem. See, if a rich man were to come up to an individual, maybe a homeless man, and he says, hey, buy me this expensive item that I don't have, that I can't afford. Buy me a flying car that costs $2 million. The poor man looks at the rich man and says, I don't have that money. And if you don't have it, why are you asking me? That's what the United States is doing. America is one of the richest countries in the world. Yet we ask Mexico to pay for the wall that we need to be built because we can't afford it. If we can't afford it, how can we expect the Mexican government to be able to afford that? The best solution to this, I would say, would be to help the Mexican government build this wall and do whatever we can to ensure that they pay for it, but help them get to being able to pay for it. Because the reason why they can't pay for it is because, one thing, their government is in a mess. It's terrible. Second, their economy's a mess. That's one reason why many Mexicans are coming here to the U.S. because there aren't any good jobs there. There's really no good future for the people. So they're coming here wanting a better future. The only thing is, they're not waiting their turn to get here. They're not doing what they need to do to get here legally. See, that would be best. That would be the best thing for them to do, is to come here legally. It'll be in their interest to do that, but they choose not to do that and come here illegally. Maybe because it would be quicker to get that better life. But still, they do it illegally, and because of that, Donald Trump believes that we need to deport all Mexicans and force, or not force, but encourage the Mexican government to build a wall. Now, if you look at the issue, Mexico says that they're not going to build it, and because of that, it's going to be very difficult. You'll have to have a lot of negotiations in order to encourage the Mexican government to build this, because if we were to put sanctions on Mexico, that could have us lose allies in the future. If we were to militarily force Mexico, that could have us in a world war, which we do not want to go into, especially with Mexico, because Mexico will take a lot of our allies, saying that what we did was wrong. So looking at the situation, it's a very complicated situation in order to get the Mexican government to build a wall and pay for it. There's a lot of sides to it. It's not just simply Mexico pay for a wall and they go on their piggy bank, get the money, and pay for it. It's not that simple. It's a very complicated situation, and you have to look at all sides when you're making your vote. Now, moving on to the economy. Now, the economy, he says he wants to restore by lowering taxes for big businesses, and and he says that will be the best way to get businesses to come back here, because he says that the taxes here are way too high, and that's why a lot of businesses are leaving. There's all sorts of businesses leaving. Car businesses that are leaving. Not just businesses, but factories. He wants to bring back industries here. He says that the steel industry is starting to fall, and that's a true fact, that all those things are leaving this country. And so he says that we need to beef up the steel industry, make it big again, make it great again. And that's what he believes in doing. He also wants to bring back Nabisco. He talks about Nabisco a lot. We know that he talked about it in front of Chris Christie, and I, if you were to ask me, I would say that was appropriate to talk about Chris Christie in a way, to say that Chris Christie needs to leave. Nabisco's maybe it's a good thing for him to leave. I think that's inappropriate to say, and that's one thing you can make your judgment on who you'll vote for this election, because if you're going to say that to a governor of one of our states in this country, what we say to a former leader. So lastly, though, his integrity has been questioned. He's been considered a predator because he has said certain things, and there are recordings that prove that he's said these things. And there are people who have come out saying that he has done certain things that are just inappropriate and wrong to do to others. And so, when you're voting, you must think about that. Do we want a predator as president? If he is a predator, it could be just speculation and just accusations. And the same thing with his business. His business has had a lot of accusations also, saying that he didn't pay some of his workers or some of the people that provided items for him. He didn't pay them fully because he didn't think he was worth it. So these are things that you have to look at when you're voting for president, because you can't just vote for a candidate and say, I like the issues and where you stand with these issues. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you will like and share it, and please leave any comments below. Thank you.